Greetings, it's story time. But before I tell my story, I have to do a little a little public service announcement, I guess. I don't know what to call it. So my account is being suppressed, and if you could push all the buttons, share, like, comment, maybe that'll help. I don't know. Also, I have to change the names of some of the characters in my story because apparently some people are saying that that's a factor. So let's see what we can do with some new creative names in the story. So today's story is about a donkey and his donkey master. And it's about the shenanigans of a donkey let loose in a giant house of white. So this donkey somehow, without permission, got access to this giant white barn, and it just started running amok and just destroying everything and knocking things over and causing just a really big mess. And the people throughout the land were like, who let this donkey in the barn? We didn't let this donkey in the barn. How did this donkey get in the barn? And there were other people who said, you let the donkey in the barn. You said it was okay for the donkey to be in the barn. And there was a lot of disagreement among the people about exactly who let the donkey in the barn. And so here's the thing. There were a lot of people who were upset with the donkey because he was destroying a lot of things. But then some other people pointed out, you know, the donkey isn't that bright, and the donkey is actually just listening to what the donkey master is telling the donkey to do. And it's almost like the donkey is a distraction from what's going on behind the scenes, which is being done by the donkey master and his other partners. But it's hard not to be upset about the mess, right? Because the donkey is kind of kicking everything with his feet, and things are flying in the air, and then the donkey master is like in the background, in the back room on his little computer, you know, creating all kinds of other chaos. And the people in the village are really upset, but they don't know how to get the donkey or the donkey master out of the barn. And so lots of people are meeting, and they're having like committee meetings, and they're having strategy meetings, and some people are getting together to dream together and to figure out a solution. And you know, everyone has different ideas, and so there are some people who are very energetic, and they have ideas about using different tools and different muscles to take matters into their own hands and change the way things are. And then there's other people who are of a more sensitive nature, and these are mostly women, and they're getting together and saying, let's put our heads together in a sensitive way, in an intuitive way, and see if we can get some insight or some guidance from our dreams. And then there are other people who are really good at writing, and they're getting really busy writing lots of letters to lots of important people to try to get them to do something. And some people are gathering together in large groups, parades you might call them, and kind of marching around the barn, trying to raise a ruckus and sing very loudly. And they're singing very loudly in a chorus, hoping that the chorus will have an impact. And then there are some people who were just so upset, they say, forget it, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, and they're packing their bags and they're going to another realm. Because the cacophony of it all, the din, the ruckus of the donkey and the donkey's handler is just really too much for some people to bear. And some people are afraid, and they're not sure what to do. But the women who are putting their heads together, the women who are looking to the sky, asking for guidance, they are saying, be not afraid. They are saying, yes, it's true that a lot of things are being destroyed, a lot of important things are being torn down. But in the sky, they are seeing messages written in the clouds, and the messages are saying that yes, things are being torn down, but after they're torn down, the people will rebuild them. And when they rebuild them, they will be better than they were before. This barn will be the best barn. It'll be a new barn, a modern barn, nothing like the old barn. And they point out that the old barn had lots of rot in it, lots of parts of it that were falling apart and rotten and rusty, and those parts were in need of being replaced. And while nobody really wanted it to be replaced in this way, nobody, after all, wants to renovate their barn by bringing in a donkey and having it just tear everything down randomly. But once it's happened, it is possible to rebuild, and it is possible to have something better than what we had before the donkey got in the barn. But there's only one way for that to happen. It's through unity. It's through the power of the people. Those who are singing, those who are dancing, those who are writing, those who are painting, those who are listening to messages in the sky, all of the people must come together, united, for when they are united, they are a powerful, powerful thing. And in this village, the villagers all know that they all have something to lose and they all have something to gain. And so it's important for everybody to come together and to recognize that it doesn't matter if you were one of the villagers who wanted the swan to be in the barn, or if you were one of the villagers who thought it was okay to let a donkey in the barn. It doesn't really matter at this point what you thought back then, because now we're in a very different situation where the donkey is breaking things. And so we have to deal with the situation that things are being broken. And the way that they're being broken is going to impact the entire village. Because if the barn falls down, it's going to fall down on all the houses nearby. It's going to impact all of the other houses in the village. And it's a fortunate thing that in this village, people are learning how to come together. The singers are learning how to sing with the dancers, and the dancers are learning how to dance with the writers, and they're all coming together. And so there's all of these dance performances that are happening all over the realm, in all of these big white houses. All of these big dance performances are happening, and there are all of these people singing songs, and they're singing them in a chorus instead of singing them alone, instead of trying to be a soloist, instead of everyone trying to be the star. People are coming together and saying, oh, I can sing with you. Will you sing with me? We're all singing the same song. And because of this, the tides are turning. Because of this, as bad as things might look, they're starting to look up. For there are people, neighbors that used to fight over fences who are no longer fighting, who are coming together and saying, never mind the fence, you're my neighbor. And they're gathering in all the village halls, and they're talking and singing loudly, and they're coming together arm in arm, brother to brother, sister to sister, and saying, we all have something to lose, and we all have something to gain. So let us stop weighing gains against losses and losses against gains, and let's just start to come together so that we can all gain together. Because by and by, everyone began to realize that when the donkey is kicking down the house, it doesn't really matter what color your fence is. It's not going to be good. And so all of the villagers with red fences and all of the villagers with blue fences came together, and they decided to paint all of their fences purple. And they all came together laughing and smiling, sharing paint, exchanging food and drink, and saying, let us put our differences behind us. Let us come together in a beautiful way. And throughout the realm, lots of little things were happening, big things and little things. People were coming together in large and small ways with large and small plans. And all of the old arguments about donkeys and elephants and swans were put aside. And people focused instead on how they could help, how they could be of service one to another, how they could come together to solve this problem. for they recognized finally their power when they came together. Their power was unstoppable.